Hi friends, I'm Ashley and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 YA fantasy books that are coming out this October. I'm going to talk about these in order of release date from soonest to latest. Book number 1 comes out on October 7th and is For No Mortal Creature by Chow. And this one is a gothic romantic fantasy inspired by Wuthering Heights. Our main female character in this one ends up dying, but then she comes back to life, and so she learns that she actually has resurrection powers. And with these newfound powers, she's able to see the spirit realm and see the ghosts that inhabit it. And among these ghosts is the boy that she used to love, who also betrayed her. And at first she wants nothing to do with the spirit realm, but then her grandmother ends up dying under suspicious circumstances, and so she has to venture into the afterlife to try to save her grandmother. And in order to survive the spirit realm, she's going to need the help of the boy who she used to love, and also the help of her longtime enemy, who is a prince. Book number 2 also comes out on October 7th, and is The Secret and the Divine by Kate Christensen and Melissa Henderson. So this one combines history, romance, and the occult, and it's described as a mesmerizing tale of sisterhood, fate, and the darkness that lurks in our world. So this one takes place in 1848 and follows 3 sisters, Daisy, Morgan, and Avery, and they are skilled in the supernatural, particularly tarot card readings. Daisy can see the future, Morgan has special ties to the past, and Avery has a special connection to the future. And these 3 sisters, they live in Massachusetts, which is known for not liking these types of powers, but their particular village is eager to use the sisters' abilities for their own gains. Daisy ends up falling in love, and so she grows distracted, and the situation is further complicated by the sisters' mother and their spiritual tutor getting into a feud for some reason. And then this all compiles into the sisters accidentally unleashing a demon onto the town, and so now they must work together to save their town. Book number 3 also comes out on October 7th and is The Crimson Throne by Sara Raasch and Beth Revis. And this one is a historical romantasy. One of our main characters is Samson, and he has a curse that has isolated him from everyone that he cares about. And so when an opportunity arises to break the curse, he seizes it. So this opportunity involves becoming a royal spy and infiltrating the Scottish Queen's court and uncovering a plot to assassinate Queen Elizabeth. And then our main female character is Elif, and it is her job to protect the Queen of the Scots, including protecting her from her own husband, because it is said that her husband is working together with a dangerous group of fae that want to overtake Scotland. But Elif herself should not be underestimated because she is actually the child of a fae prince and a human mother. And so she is one of the most powerful protectors in Scotland. So while Elif and Samson are technically on opposite sides and they are enemies, they both have a shared enemy, and that shared enemy is the Queen of Scots' husband, and so the two of them end up having to work together to foil his plans. So this one sounds like it's going to be an enemies to lovers romance, and just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Book number 4 comes out on October 14th, and it is A Fate Unwoven by Rachel A. Edwards. So this one is a gothic fantasy with dual perspectives. One of our main characters is 17-year-old Lena, and she has just gained the powers to control fate itself, and so that makes her a fate weaver. And her having these powers also binds her to the prince, who is next to be emperor, and he will soon be emperor because the current emperor is dying. But Lena doesn't want anything to do with the prince or her powers, so she ends up running away with a handsome smuggler into enemy territory. However, a former lover ends up betraying her, and her magic itself is causing her pain because it wants her to serve the prince. And so she unfortunately ends up being brought back to the palace. But all hope is not yet lost because an ancient spirit tells her that there is still a hope for her to break the connection between her and the prince. And in order to do so, she must uproot a ritual that is hidden beneath the palace. And then our other main character seems like it's going to be the prince himself. And so he is trying to forge a friendship with Lena and keep his kingdom under control and peaceful, and also try to stop cultists from destroying his kingdom. Book number 5 also comes out on October 14th, and it's a Riddle of Thorns by Sarena Nanua and Sasha Nanua. So this one follows our main character Sana, who has been waiting years to return to her ancestral home that's in Paris, and she was sent away from this home as a child when her mother mysteriously disappeared. But now she is 18 and she's ready to claim her inheritance and to return to her childhood home. So she does, and when she gets there, she finds 3 mysterious strangers waiting for her. One of them is Fox, who is an eccentric genius who models himself after Sherlock Holmes. The second is Isabel, a seemingly innocent girl who shares an icy history with Sana. And third, Minho, a handsome young genius who is always wearing half a smirk. And per her mother's will, the 3 of them are there because they received a cryptic invitation to participate in a battle of riddles for the deed of Sana's childhood home. And it is rumored that hidden within Sana's childhood home is a flower that was created by the gods themselves that's said to grant any wish. And so Sana is completely blindsided by this detail in her mother's will, and she is feeling betrayed. So she decides to embark on a journey to figure out exactly what happened to her mother and to find out why her mother chose these 3 individuals in particular to possibly inherit the house. Book number 6 comes out on October 21st, and it's The Demon in the Light by Axie. And this is book 2 and the final book in the Floating World duology. And this is one that I'm super excited for because I read The Floating World earlier this year and is one of my favorite books of the year so far. I do have a reading blog up on book 1, The Floating World, so I'll link that down below if you are interested in checking it out. This duology takes place in a world inspired by Final Fantasy VII and Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky. And this one is dual perspectives, so we have our main female character Ren and our main male character Sunho. And so in book 1, Ren ends up going on a journey to find a cure for her uncle who was poisoned by a demon. And then Sunho is a mercenary, and he is trying to find a girl who wields silver light, and little does he know that Ren is that girl. And so the 2 of them end up meeting and they end up journeying together. And so book 1 ended on a cliffhanger, and so book 2 is going to pick up where that left off and conclude their story. Book number 7 also comes out on October 21st, and it's A Curious Kind of Magic by Mara Rutherford. And so this one is a cozy fantasy about Willow, a teenage owner of a mostly fake magical curiosity shop, and Brianna, a girl that is cursed to turn everything that she touches into magic. And so at the start of the story, Willow's shop isn't doing very well and it's just barely hanging on. But then one day, Brianna enters the shop and she ends up turning the fake magical items into real magical items. And so Willow is ecstatic and she wants Brianna's help to save the magic shop from going under. But Brianna wants nothing to do with that. And she actually wants to get rid of her magic. And so she has been looking for a missing grimoire that has a spell that could finally end her curse. But then Willow offers a deal to Brianna in which she will help her find this grimoire if Brianna will help her with the shop, and so the 2 form a partnership. Book number 8 comes out on October 28th, and it's The Prince of Mourning by Jenn Bennett. And so this is a gothic romantasy that follows the forbidden romance between a young nurse and a mysterious young man that is imprisoned by a dangerous occultist. And so this one follows 18-year-old nursing student Molly, who ends up becoming a private live-in nurse for a wealthy young man. But when she gets to his mansion, she ends up uncovering a dangerous secret, and that is that he has a young man locked away there behind magical barriers. It turns out this young man is royalty, but he is not a human, and he's the son of a legend. And Molly and this young man are drawn to each other, but things are further complicated because the young man's father is searching for him, and he will not stop until he finds his son. And in order to protect Molly, the young man has to find a way back to his realm, or else there will be horrible consequences. Book number 9 also comes out on October 28th, and it's Moth Dark by Kika Hatzpoulou. So in this book, there are 2 worlds, our world and the dark world. And our main female character loves the dark world, and so she spends her days studying creatures from this dark world and seeking them out in the shadows. However, one day she ends up impossibly pulling a person from the dark world, a person that she thinks shouldn't exist. And he turns out to be the heir of the Dark World, and he is there for her because he says that she betrayed the Kingdom of Dark in a battle. And she has no idea what in the world he is talking about, and so she runs away from him. But meanwhile, tensions between her world and the Dark World keep building, and so a war is looming. And so her and the heir of the Dark World ends up having to work together to come up with a peaceful way to save both of their worlds. Book number 10, and the final book on this list, also comes out on October 28th and is Red Threads, A Witch's Tale by Nguyen Hayama. And this one is a graphic novel. And it's a magical story of friendships and new beginnings, and it's perfect for fans of Spirited Away. So this one follows 15-year-old Hana, who is bored by her normal life in Tokyo. And then one day, after rescuing a crow who is trapped in a net by her house, a mysterious visitor shows up at her house and offers her the chance to enroll in the most prestigious magic academy in Japan. And so she is super excited, so she accepts this invitation. And so she goes to the school, and it seems like it's the school of her dreams. That's everything that she's been looking for. There's magic, mystical creatures, and she even makes a new best friend. But before long, disaster strikes, and students end up being attacked in the halls of the academy. And so it looks like the school might be in danger of closing. And so it's up to Hana and her new best friend to discover what is going on so that their school doesn't close down. Alright, so those are 10 YA fantasy books coming out this October. Let me know down below if any of them caught your eye. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!